One of my favorite things in life is a good analogy. I know it sounds kind of lame, but I love using my understanding of one idea to better understand another, more complex but similar idea. Since analogies help me learn so well, this video is going to be about 3 analogies that have completely changed the way that I think about learning and studying. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike. I'm a doctor working in California and co-founder of RemNote. We make videos about how you can use neuroscience to enhance your learning and productivity. So if that's something you're into, then subscribe for weekly videos. The definition of learning, according to Peter Brown, author of Make It Stick, is acquiring knowledge and storing it in our memory in a way that we can recall it later to solve problems. Well, that's the definition, but the process itself is much more technical, which is why I love using analogies to help me understand the nuances. So let's get into them. These are my favorite. They're the ones that make you stop and think. I never really thought about it that way, but now it just makes so much sense. If you've seen this video before, I talk about the 3 best evidence-based learning strategies. Well, each of these 3 analogies I'm about to share really help me understand each of those 3 study methods. So the first analogy is about active recall. Learning is like playing basketball. They both require mastery of multiple steps. In basketball, the steps are catch, dribble, and shoot. Catching the ball is like absorbing the information from your textbook or your lectures. Basically, you're acquiring something. Dribbling the ball is like mulling over the information and consolidating it to your long-term memory. And finally, shooting the ball is analogous to recalling the information and using it to solve problems. So the biggest takeaway here is that shooting the basketball is how you actually score points. Well, this is also true for learning and studying. The way you score points is by solving problems in the real world. Or, quite literally, the way you score points on an exam is directly related to how well you can recall your information from your memory on test day. It's so important to understand that if you don't actually practice recall, you won't be scoring points on your exam. And yet, a lot of students spend most of their time taking notes and rereading their notes, basically only practicing the catch and dribble. Some never even practice shooting until the day of the exam. They never do practice problems or flashcards or any other form of active recall until it's too late. The second analogy is about spaced repetition. If you're a plant mom or plant dad, then you'll love this one because learning is like gardening. Once you've learned something, you've planted that seed of knowledge in your head, but it's not over yet. You have to be sure to water your knowledge in order for it to grow. Your mind garden is filled with all different kinds of plants. Some plants grow really quickly, but others take more time. Some plants need to be watered every day, but other plants might only need to be watered once a week. So imagine that each of your plants represents a concept or a topic in your memory, whether it's math, science, or history, or chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. You'll need to spend more time on some memories compared to others in order to keep them from decaying and dying. So the biggest takeaway here is that some students don't understand that different memories require different amounts of attention. If you know what topics you're good at and which topics you're weak at, you can focus more time on the topics that you're weak at. At the same time, you can avoid wasting time overstudying the topics that you already know well. And the best way to do this is by using a spaced repetition algorithm, like RemNote. Shameless plug, but these types of algorithms adjust to your learning. If you're doing well in math but struggling with chemistry, then these spaced repetition algorithms will tell you that you need to spend more time watering your chemistry plant, whereas your math plant will be okay without water for a few days. The last analogy is about interleaving, and I love sports, so it's another sports analogy. Learning is like playing baseball. When you practice baseball, you have to get good at hitting every kind of ball, whether it's fast balls, slow balls, curve balls, and everything in between. If you spend all day just practicing hitting curveballs, then you'll develop some really good muscle memory for curveballs because you know exactly what's coming. Now, if you spend tomorrow just practicing hitting fastballs, then everything you knew about curveballs will just be sitting in the back of your head, unused, because you don't need that skill for the day. But what if you practiced at random? What if you didn't know what the pitcher was going to throw at you? You'd have to be prepared to hit any type of ball, which means your knowledge of curveballs, fastballs, and slow balls are all top of mind. When you're using all these areas in your brain, that's when you see the connections between your skills. That's when you'll understand the variations, and that's how you become a good baseball player. So the main takeaway here is that you gotta mix it up and randomize your practice. If you're studying chapter 2, but you're also thinking about what you just learned in chapter 1, then maybe that knowledge from chapter 1 will give you more insight into understanding chapter 2. If you mix up your practice, you'll always be ready, because you never know what you're gonna get on the day of the exam. And more importantly, you'll never know what you're gonna get in life. All right, I hope those analogies helped. I hope something clicked in your brain. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and share it with your friends. It means so much to us. If you ever want to chat, just follow us on Twitter or Instagram and send us a message. And if you want more videos about learning science, then you can check out this playlist over here. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.